That's my
legal.
opinion!
Today we have Professor Paul Mavima with us, who is the Minister of Skills, Audit and Development, an academic, and now a law student. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us.
Thank you, I'm really honored to be here.
Okay, let's start with a question on everyone's mind. What made you decide to study law at this point in your journey?
My academic background is in public administration and policy, and I did public administration when I was very young, and then pursued that field to masters at the University of Zimbabwe, then also to PhD level. Always felt that what undergirds public administration is really the legal aspect of it. And also coming into politics, which I did much later in life, I felt that, the legislative role that I was playing also needed me to better understand the legal profession in a much deeper way. Design of policies of government as a minister is also supposed to be really have a strong foundation in the legal field. So
Naturally busy, with all the work that you do and your constituency, and just a glance, it looks like you don't actually have time to rest. So I understand you said, these are the things that you're considering, but can you balance it all?
Rumbi, you leave out the family aspect as well.
Okay,
But,
that's true.
but there are certain habits that you develop, and I really want most of our youngsters to understand that there are certain habits that you develop when you are still young, and those habits live with you throughout your career. But if you have developed bad habits, especially bad habits around time management, it will also show.
Okay.
In my case, I don't want to lie that it's easy, but there are certain things that you just say, I have decided I'll do these things, and you have to juggle the commitments. At the same time, you have to have a very good relationship with your fellow students, and these are very much young people. Some of them, a lot of them, in fact, I have children who are much older than the people that I'm going to school with. And so you have also to rely on them for discussions, for sharing notes, for bouncing opinions on them. And I found it very, very useful. We give you their assistance willingly and without any reservations at all. So that makes life easier. Yeah.
Okay. So thank you. Now we have a bit of an understanding about the dynamic that you have when you're at school and, how you balance in your work. We're now curious as to what you want to do with the degree. Is it just for understanding and knowledge purposes, or do you intend on actually then practicing law?
The main thing really is for me to understand law, understanding of the foundations of where law came from. All that has been so much invaluable to me. So my thing is just that basic understanding. I don't know whether I will practice or not, but that in itself is essential, especially to the work that I'm doing. Whether or not I'll practice is a different matter altogether. And I'll cross the bridge when I get there. Just finished contract and derelict. I'm going to be much more careful in the manner in which I relate to people, because they could bring a case against you if you defame them, that kind of thing. I now understand. I'm not going to also go into any contract blindly. There was a time when I would sign things without really understanding.
Sir, I can then see, and we all appreciate, I think, your desire to understand better the legal systems and all the concepts and building a stronger foundation. So at this point, you've already been working with the legal systems and now you've had this experience. I'm curious to see that, have you had maybe a look back on your past work in public service and maybe, started to consider that maybe this we should have done differently and I wish we could have done this differently? Have you had such a moment?
Indeed. From a personal perspective, even my work in the academic field, this would have been given me a better understanding, a better interpretation. Every opportunity to learn new things should impact on one's practice, especially in the field of serving a nation and its citizens. This has helped me a lot to reflect. And I'm going to be in a better position to guide even my ministry as we come up with policies and programs. There was a time when I thought I had failed in the amendment of the PVO Act to both houses of parliament, but was not assented to by the president. And now, having gone through some of the modules that I have gone through, I now understand the certain things that I should have done in order to ensure that this piece of legislation sails through. It is so. In many ways, we lost some time with it, but I'm glad that eventually it was brought back to Parliament, and changes were done, and eventually it was assented to by His Excellency.
Okay. Oh, thank you, sir. So I think we're about to get into deeper waters just a little bit. I think I've always had a deep admiration for the legal profession, especially looking at lawyers, because they're directly dealing with people's lives. These are real issues attached to real people.
Yeah.
And now, when I was now thinking about this discussion that we're going to have, I then realized that as a lawmaker, it has to be worse because you're constantly grappling with the idea that your actions and decisions can and actually do impact millions of lives. Yes. And now that's already a huge weight to carry. And then now you have the added burden of the law. You now know the law base. So I can imagine that it's going to be an even bigger burden. So I'd just like to hear, how are you going to navigate?
Being a law student has reaffirmed what to some extent I have always known, that the starting point of any lawmaking is the values that should be served with that law. There are going to be competing values. But at the national level, there is always a compass that you should use to decide the direction that you should be following. It is something that people loosely define as national interest. And to me, national interest is what defines what we should put into law, and can be defined more specifically, depending on what specific issue you are dealing with. Issues of, for example, should we have a death penalty or not? I was sitting in cabinet and listening to the president, and it was one of those when the amendment to the death penalty was done. It was one of those that he spent a lot of time arguing and justifying, and you could understand clearly where he's coming from, what value system he's pushing. But there were some of us who had the belief of, whoever, for example, whoever takes a life should also be punished with death. So there are things that you should consider, but they should always be a true north kind of consideration that is value-based, that is based on the best interests of the nation. And I think that's what is that is my guide when I address issues of lawmaking in the nation. I think now I am in a better position even to give advice to other lawmakers as they debate issues in Parliament.
Studying law, and as I found that our lecturers are very passionate people, and they've got a way of swaying you to their sort of opinions, and you begin to start rethinking what you got into the lecture room thinking. You thought A is correct and I'm moving with A. By the time you leave, you're thinking, but B is not so bad.
Yeah.
And so when you're now studying law, you're exposed to so many schools of thought. Most lawyers and judges, these ideas remain sort of in their background because they're bound by what the law currently is.
Yeah.
But you're in a unique position as a lawmaker to sort of stick to a school of thought, to maybe align with it and to argue on that point. And, you're not just interpreting the law anymore. You're actually part of the shaping process.
Yeah.
So, do you find that, your approach is shifting maybe? And how do you see yourself managing that complexity going forward?
What I found very, very beneficial in the aspect that you're talking about, there are some professors who really go to the extreme in taking specific ideological positions. Others are much more like objective analysis of everything. When you are a lawmaker, I think there is a lot of pragmatism that you have to take as well. So, you try to balance these extreme positions, try to find almost like a middle ground. But I want to also say that you get enriched even with these extreme positions that some of the professors present. You get to analyze them, you form your own position about them, and you also engage them. You also engage those professors in a way that I think when everything is said and done, you may also be in a position to make them see your own point of view. But to me, most of those theories were not new.
Okay.
But what was new was the legal interpretation that comes with it. Yeah.
Okay. No, sir, you know what? I am very inspired by your dedication to continue to do more. I think lots might even say you have achieved a lot in your lifetime, and you already deserve so many flowers for the work that you have done. But again, I think I admire the fact that you still want to do more for your country, for your community. And I think that's a good lesson a lot of us can take away from this. So I'm now just curious, what advice may you have for, let's start with young people who are maybe thinking about studying law, and then we'll move to people in these special positions where they can affect change.
Yeah. For youngsters who are thinking about studying law, one thing that you have to know, it's a very competitive field to enter. So if you have your mindset on studying law, you really have to exert yourself. You also have to develop, like I said earlier, and habits of really hard-hearted, honest work. It's not easy. The modular, for example, the modular approach to studying that our universities have now taken requires you to understand a whole module in 3 weeks. The 4th week, you are already writing an exam. You also have to be a team player, be ready for that. A lot of the work is going to be done in groups, and you will be expected to make presentations within the group and also in class. The biggest issue is exert yourself, be a team player, be one who knows how to manage their time. Yeah. My advice is, please exert yourself, be a team player, contribute as much as possible, not to just your own development, but also to the development of your peers. Those who may be considering studying law, maybe they are in other professions. My advice, general advice, is people should never stop learning. Yeah. We should engage in continuous learning, self-improvement. It might not be law, but other professions as well that people should try even in the later years of their lives. Embrace a lifelong learning agenda for ourselves, but also for the betterment of our country in general. So pick up something new to learn and go for it. In the legal field, just an understanding of law will help you as a person, but it will also make you someone who is useful in helping their community. I sometimes even encourage people to go to technical and vocational institutions and see what they are offering there in order for you to enhance your life and your skills.
Taking us through this journey, not just your career, but your ongoing growth. It's not every day we get to hear from someone who's helped shape national policy and then humbles themselves enough to go back to the classroom to unlearn, relearn, and rethink. So what stands out most is the way you hold both power and responsibility, not just politically, but intellectually and ethically. And that reminder that we're all still learning, and even those in leadership, we should still also continue to learn. So that is something I think we all needed to hear. So we wish you the very best as you continue your legal journey. I am your host, Rumbi Munembe, and thank you for tuning in. See you next time.
And remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and follow us on all our socials so that you didn't miss out on any new updates.